Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have ourselves a 1v1 on Semoskiy. Not the winner version, as you can see, just the standard Semoskiy. Anyways, our heroes today are going to be Bryan, playing for the Soviets, and his opponent is going to be VonIvan, playing for the Germans in the red. And apparently Bryan is struggling with buttons. Now, I do apologize for the previous games. The recent patches had made it a little bit difficult to pull up the information about the players regarding the rank, as I was doing before, but that has apparently been solved, and we are easily now able to access the information about both players. Now, VonIvan, obviously a prominent player in the scene. His current rank, at the time of casting this for the Soviets, he's actually ranked number 6, and his German play is ranked 31st. So, top 100 player right here. Apparently the Soviets are a little bit stronger, but either way, he's amazing. Now, he says, you should know I did have a couple of drinks myself tonight, but probably ones that weren't as bad. Okay. Anyways, Bryan, for his part, maybe you're not too familiar with him, but he is also very good. His current rank, again at the time of casting this, is 48th for his Soviet play, and the Germans is 64. So again, another top 100 player right here, so we should have a hell of a game in our hands. Now, while both players are going around the map and just, talking back and forth here, we are going to take a look at the doctrines and bulletins. So we see that both players have selected their doctrines. We see the Advanced Warfare, the new one that got released, being selected by Bryan. It's a very, very popular doctrine right now. And for VonIvan, he has the Lightning War Doctrine, so interesting. Both players, got them right away, so I assume they have some type of strategy in mind. As far as the bulletins go, we have Bryan going for the, the more conservative thing, and that is just buffing up his conscripts. We have 5% cooldown, 3% accuracy, and the 2-2 split. But we see that VonIvan is actually going a little bit for his MG play. He has 10% experience, 4% increased rate of fire, and 2% accuracy for his MG42. So we'll probably see him use them. And in fact, we already see 2 MG42s coming out of the field for VonIvan. Now, we have the first engagement in the game in the center, although it's not really an engagement. We just see shots being fired back and forth. Conscripts and Grenadiers just, making themselves known. Molotov's getting researched for Bryan, so he'll probably push forward here and throw one on top of these Grenadiers. We actually see the conscripts move and get themselves into the cover of the church, and there they go. Tech-wise, Bryan just getting conscripts like you would expect. He already got Molotov, so that's spending a little bit of fuel there. And for VonIvan, he goes tier 1 like you would expect most Germans to do, and got himself 2 Grenadiers, 2 MG42s, and now a mortar that is coming into the field. So a heavy tier 1 play, very nice. Conscripts popping out of the house once the second conscript squad moves in for Bryan to support. And Molotov landing right on top of the Grens, forcing them to back off. They are still on the field, they're not retreating. MG42 coming into the field to help them out. MG42 opens up on the conscripts that are currently in heavy cover. However, the MG42 has a nice angle on them and manages to get a suppression. They crawl, still in heavy cover, getting closer to the MG42, while the other squad, now down to 3 men, pops out of the house and is probably going to try to get a little bit of a flank on that MG42. No more support is present. We have a MG42 down south by the fuel, but there is nothing nearby to stop these conscripts. However, the MG42 manages to do that by itself, catches the other conscript squad out in the open, forces their retreat, while the other one just crawls out of its range. Still at 6 men, taking a little bit of damage, but they're still alive and in the relative heavy cover of the cemetery. Up in the far north, Bryan is going for the cutoff, or, well, not the cutoff, the fuel point, I suppose you could say. And the MG42 down in the southern fuel point catches the conscripts again out in the open. They crawl themselves back into the graveyard, now losing one of their members out in the open, I guess you could say. And the MG42 over here on the car manages to get a pin down on them, and the mortar starts opening up. Bryan will probably have to retreat the squad. However, he is leaving it there for a little bit of a flank. Coming up with a conscript squad over here on the far edge, gets right on top of that mortar, probably going to force that off the field, and the conscripts pop into the house, getting a lot of cover and being able to now shoot at the MG42. Keep in mind, however, that no, there's a lot of windows there. I was going to say that there weren't many windows in this side of the house. There are 4, so very nice. Molotov flies for Bryan, hits the MG42 square in the face, forces it to pack up, loses one of its men, and continues to push forward. Second conscript squad, Urang, right on top of the MG42, forces the retreat, and the Pios are trying to get into the mix, but with two conscript squads, third one in the house, and a combat engineer squad with flamethrowers coming up, those Pios get the hell out of there very quickly, as well as the MG42. Second MG42 moves in behind and tries to cut off the Soviets. Manages to open up on the combat engineers that are currently crawling into the house. Both squads are on the floor. Conscripts get caught right in the open. The combat engineers manage to make it into the church. This squad is now pinned down to 3 men, getting eaten alive by that MG42. Needs to get it out of there, and there it goes. Going to be able to make it out since they get out of the arc of fire. However, the MG42 did inflict massive amounts of damage to that conscript squad. Combat engineers pop out through the back door of the church, get themselves into a different house. However, they are not in range of the MG42 to be able to use their flamethrower. MG42 backs off, sits up in a very nice angle. However, the conscripts on the right ura past the arc of fire and get themselves behind the MG42, forcing the retreat for Von Ivan. Molotov still flies, catches a little bit of damage on the rear guy, gets himself shot, and there they go. MG42 will have to run through several conscript squads, and I think it's actually going to go down. Yep, there it goes. MG42 down in the middle of the road. And there they go. Balls, says Von Ivan, as Bryan says, thanks for the MG. A little bit of banter back and forth, not really, you know, being insulting or anything. They're quite playful here. So, mortar, MG42, more units start to flood into the field, into the center for Von Ivan. He did have a Grenadier squad down in the south, managing to capture pretty much everything, all the way up to the fuel point. Fuel point up north, already back in possession for Von Ivan, as his Grenadiers are just moving around capping. And he, for the most part, is just using his heavy weapons, the machine gun and the mortar, to fight in the center, while his Grens take the flanks. Okay, so Bryan, how's the weapon kit? Okay, well, yeah, gun chat. Anyways, tier 2 going down for Bryan. He, not sure if he's going to be getting anything from that or just using it to go possibly for tier 3. Sniper getting produced for Von Ivan. Interesting choice. Gonna probably be using it to try to take out that MG42, as it's going to be rather pesky, and a bunker is going down for Von Ivan as well. Northern side getting captured by Von Ivan with his Grens, and the south is getting captured by Bryan with his conscripts. Newly acquired MG42 and 2 conscript squads pushing into the center. MG42 going to jump into the house. There goes. And we have Pios laying down mines. Very nice. S-minefields did get a buff in the recent patch. They got reduced costs, increased build time, and a reduction in the spread of them. However, this thing is still present, so kind of makes it obvious that it's there if you're observant. I believe you can spin it around, and the sign is always placed in the edges, so you can kind of conceal it. For example, this one right here is right next to the bushes, so it's kind of a little bit harder to see, but the fact that there are 4 there, well, you know, kind of ruins it. But, well, at least we are seeing it being used, so it means that it's a dead zone there for the most part. Anyways, conscripts down south going for the fuel. They get caught by the MG42, and the Pios jump into the house, denying it for them. Sniper out in the open for Von Ivan, opening up on the conscripts that are currently fighting the Grens. Grens taking a nasty Molotov to the face. Conscripts are forced to retreat as the sniper continues to pepper away at them and getting kill after kill. They are still at 4 men, so they make it out of there just fine. Up to the north, we see the MG42 and the conscripts just deciding to abandon the center, not wanting to fight there. Conscripts will run and pop into the church to get a nice view of what's going on. No, actually they're going straight for the victory point. Point-wise, we have Bryan down to 400, while Von Ivan is sitting at 489. So, there you go. Bryan says, don't be mean. Not exactly sure what he's referring to, though. Oh, nasty S-mines getting triggered here by the conscripts. They are not as powerful per blast for the you know, like compared to the other mines, but they are the only anti-infantry mine option available to the Germans. So I suppose they work. They actually work rather well right there. No additional tech so far for VonIvan. We see tier 3 gone down for Bryan, as we would expect. And he's going for the the half-track with 2 flamethrowers. This is starting to become very popular nowadays, isn't it? I guess I'll have to try that myself. And there it goes, straight into the center. Do we have anything to stop it? Answer would be no. We see Grenadiers, but they're not currently in the center. We have a Grenadier squad up in the north, and another one back at base. So no Fausts really to be worried about. And the cool thing about this half-track is that it takes Faust like a boss. Runs straight into the mines, takes a little bit of damage. The mid inside also takes some damage. Flamethrowers going off on the sniper. Sniper getting run down by the half-track. Barely makes it out of there alive. Can he finish him off? He's going to try to. There it goes. Shots flying at the sniper. Sniper goes down. And VonIvan screams, "No! My sniper!" And there he goes. Half-track also catching the mortar out of position. Down to 2 men. Flamethrowers going off. So, I mean, this is essentially, you know, the version of the flame the flame half-track from the Germans. So down goes the mortar. MG42 also out in the open. He pops its incendiary rounds, and the conscripts take quite a beating there, but 2 conscript squads right there in the center. MG42 now retreating. The half-track is going to catch it out of position, and there it goes. Another sniper getting produced by VonIvan, and VonIvan says best retreat path ever for his MG42. Grens move in, throw a Faust off on the half-track, stopping it. Manages to keep his MG42 alive. Unfortunately for Bryan, this half-track does not have a gun in the rear like the German half-track. But, well, German half-track doesn't have the ability to pop units inside and have them shoot at the same time. Pios running away. And the Panzer IV is now on the field for VonIvan, which is probably going to go straight for that half-track. Grenadier squad running away, taking a little bit of damage, but managing to stay alive. At this point, well, we hear explosions all over the place. Ooh, nasty. S-mine getting laid down right there on the bridge. Conscript squad retreating straight through the path of the S-mines, taking a lot of damage, down to 1 man, barely making it out of there. So yeah, I mean, S-mines seem to be doing rather well now. I mean, would still be nice if you could, you know, remove that and then be stealthy. Oh, well, Panzer IV hits the half-track. Half-track goes out of control, and away go the combat engineers, hitting some more mines on the way, but managing to get out of there alive. MG42 and AT gun right there in the center. Panzer IV taking a nasty shot from the AT gun in the front armor, but it actually stops right there in front of the AT gun, manages to get out of its arc of fire, and is now going to go for the decrew on that. We have nothing nearby to support it. Nasty shot goes off, clears out the MG42. That was a rifle nade, and I don't know exactly what that was though. AT gun trying its best as it can to take some shots on the Panzer IV. Manages to get 1 more shot off before it gets cleared out. And VonIvan is now... he actually kills the retreating unit from the AT gun, even though it would have just left the field. Grenadiers trying to go for the cutoff, managing only to get forced off. Conscripts pushing forward. Conscripts do have AT nades available. And they are going straight for the Panzer IV. T-34 now in the field for Bryan. Going to try to fight that Panzer IV on a one-on-one. Panzer IV did take an 18-8 to the face, getting a crit on the engine. Almost clears out the conscript squad, however. But the T-34 is now on the field. It's going to go straight for that. That Panzer IV is down to about 30% health. So unless he gets some help right away, especially from something like a pack gun, it is going to be going down to this T-34. T-34 moves in. Shots start flying. The Panzer IV nails it very nicely on the frontal armor, getting a penetration. The T-34 gets a little bit behind it. Suffers engine damage from a nasty shot to the rear armor, and the Panzer IV has managed to equalize the fight very quickly, brings the T-34 down to about 25% health. 1 more shot should actually finish it off. But, fortunately for Bryan, manages to get in there with an 18-8 and finish off the Panzer IV at the same time. Who actually got the kill? Yeah, the conscripts actually got the kill, you can see there, with a vehicle kill. Pios move forward, get right on top of the AT gun. They're going to turn it around, and the T-34 will be going down. A nasty shot there by their own mortar manages to clear them out, so very lucky break there from Bryan. And the mortar is a little bit shameful there. AT gun getting recovered by Bryan, retreats and sends it back. We have a Gren squad up in the north, gets a Faust off on the T-34, doing quite a bit of damage. It's now down to about 10% health. Panzer IV now on the field for Von Ivan. This T-34 is done for unless it just starts backing off to its base. And we have another half-track on the field for Bryan. So yeah, I mean, this is very popular. We see players consistently just using this right now. So it's the flavor of the month kind of thing, I suppose. Pios in the center for Von Ivan going for the cap. Victory point-wise, Bryan down to 353. Von Ivan sitting at 457, so he has a 100-point lead. So he is in a very comfortable position, although unit-wise, he is in the losing end of that. Combat-wise, he only has 2 Grand Squads and a sniper, while Bryan has 4 conscripts and even combat engineers with flamethrowers. Panzer IV runs straight into the T-34. T-34 getting heavy repairs on the field. The half-track moves in to try to reinforce the combat engineers. T-34 is going to end up dying. The half-track is going to try to get itself out of there. The T-34 has actually done a decent amount of damage to the Panzer IV, brought it down to about half health, and the half-track is now being pursued by the Panzer IV. The half-track is trying to get itself out of there. Panzer IV shoots and misses, and gets home free. Nice. Conscripts now in hot pursuit of the Panzer IV. One of them goes down to the coaxial gun, and the conscripts run out of URA and decide to back off since they're not going to be able to get in range for an 18-8. Center map, Von Ivan just sitting around with snipers and Pios. Mortar also being used behind the hedge. And down in the south, we see an MG42 going for the fuel, while a Grand Squad is going to decap the southern point for Bryan. Half-track going all the way back to base. Going to try to get some repairs on the fly there by those combat engineers, although it is pretty healthy at about, you could say, 95%. AT gun moves in, trying to take some shots at the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV gets itself out of there. Conscripts URA into the center. The sniper is retreating. Will make it out alive this time. And nasty shots there by the mortar actually nail the conscripts on the retreat. They're going to retreat straight to the path of an S-mine, but managed to not trigger any of the points. And there they go. Mortar shots landing on the S-mines, just detonating them, unfortunately, for Von Ivan. And the conscripts now get into the church. The squad is actually going to run straight into a mine. Oh, that was a nasty hit there. A combination of the S-mine and a mortar shot behind them annihilates an entire squad for Bryan. Loosen even the PPS Sages, which you actually can't drop. So conscript squad heading straight into the victory point, getting annihilated by the sniper and the S-mine, down to 2 men. S-mines are actually pretty good now. I actually like them. They have quite an impact. I mean, I suppose, you know, minesweepers would neutralize them, but minesweepers neutralize mines regularly. It's just that, you know, this can tip you off a little bit. AT guns backing off as the sniper and Grenz are in hot pursuit. Sniper executes one of the men on that 2-man AT gun and manages to force the retreat and the abandoning of the weapon. Down south, Grenz running into a conscript squad. Conscript squad down to 1 man. Combat engineers with the flamethrowers trying to annihilate the MG42. The MG42 is on the wrong side of the river. It's going to turn around and try to use its incendiary rounds to take down the half-track. It may as well do that. However, the half-track is moving out of its arc of fire. Manages to get 1 burst off with those rounds, and the flamethrower continues to burn. Trying to get that... Yep. Sorry, ran out of words there. The Grenadier squad goes down on the retreat, and the MG42 is also now on retreat, but it will go down to the flamethrowers. Very, very strong half-track to be using, and the combat engineers will probably pop out and get some repairs off on that half-track. Up in the front of the base, conscript squad also being forced to retreat, down to 1 man. Oh, gets executed there by the sniper on the retreat. Sniper almost gets shot by the AT gun, moves out of the way, and is going to take some shots at the MG42 group, which will jump into the house. The sniper is in a lot of trouble, needs to get itself out of there, takes a little bit of shots there from the MG42. Takes aim, shoots at the MG42 gunner, and more shots fly off at the sniper. The sniper continues to shoot, getting kills on the gunner itself. You can see it right there. Misses that shot finally, and the... No, actually, he did kill. Wow, that sniper is on a roll. He's just annihilating the squad inside. MG42 actually opens up in the center towards that sniper. So we have 2 snipers on the field for Von Ivan. Shots are flying on each way. And the MG42 ends up going down for Bryan. So he loses his picked up MG42 to the world. When you lose it inside a house, you can't pick it up again. Conscript URA forward, trying to get that sniper. Second sniper moving in to relieve him, but decides to retreat. Both are now off the field. Bunker is in place for Von Ivan, so he'll be able to get them healed up, and then back out on the field. But yeah. Another Panzer IV on the field for Von Ivan. No T-34 on the field for Bryan just yet. Half-track running straight into the S-mine. The units inside taking a little bit of damage from the splash, but the half-track doesn't really take too much damage in the process. Conscripts run into more S-mines, and the half-track is trying to detonate them all as much as they can. Does take a little bit of damage, but, you know, not too much. Conscript retreating. Could have potentially stayed alive a little bit and get reinforced on the field, but it was a little bit of a risky maneuver with 2 snipers out on the field. Pioneers getting caught by the half-track. They're going to have to retreat, although they are going to die, so it looks like Von Ivan isn't even going to bother doing the retreat on those. Excuse me. That went the wrong way. Ran out of water. Okay, well anyways, Panzer IV running straight into the center, getting 1880 by those conscripts. The half-track trying to get away from the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV is aiming at it. He stops in the center, continues to go. Ow, nasty shot there on that half-track. Takes out most of the combat engineers. Half-track is still alive, however, so he could just get himself out of there and stay alive. AT gun, however, gets recruited by the Grens. The half-track gets the hell out of dodge. And the AT gun for Bryan is in hot pursuit of the Panzer IV. Manages to get a nice angle and starts taking some shots at the Panzer IV. A artillery barrage from the stolen AT gun is going to clear out that Soviet AT gun. Second shot flies, still alive. T-34 now behind the stolen AT gun, and the Panzer IV is a little bit cut off here. T-34 going to move into a nice angle there to be able to shoot at the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV is turning its gun. T-34 as well. The T-34 does have the advantage as far as the Panzer IV being damaged. Runs straight into the arc of fire of the AT gun. Can he get behind? Manages to get behind the AT gun, and the AT gun is now being turned around. Shot flies, down goes the entire gun, and the Panzer IV is now, or should now be, easy pickings. There he goes. Takes a shot. Misses, essentially. It bounces off. Bounces off again. This is quite unfortunate for the T-34. T-34 might be going down to the Panzer. Goes for the ram, says, you know, screw this, and gets abandoned. Wow. T-34 goes down, and the Panzer IV gets abandoned. The snipers notice this, but they're not going to be jumping into the tank. And the only thing we have nearby is a mortar. Bryan says, too drunk for that shit, and he just decides to ram the tank since, well, the RNG was not in his favor in that engagement. AT gun managed to actually survive that engagement. The barrage was only capable of clearing out 4 of the men, or maybe there were less, maybe only 2. But in any case, it stayed alive. But now the snipers move in, execute the squad, and there they go. Another Panzer IV getting produced for Bryan. He has the possibility of picking up a Panzer IV here. We'll see if that ends up happening. Then we have conscripts moving up to the north. They're going to run into some pios. Those pios are currently capping points. And we did have a triple cap from Von Ivan towards Bryan. What's a Panzer IV, says Bryan. Or Panzer Ivy. Panzer IV getting picked up by the Grens. It is currently disabled with no weapon. And the engine seems to be fine. No, it's actually damaged, but, you know, not too heavily damaged. And she's going to back it off from there and try to keep it alive. Half-track up in the north. We see a second Panzer IV for Von Ivan moving in that direction. Might actually catch that half-track out of position, considering that it's now essentially cut off from its own base. Panzer IV is too much RNG favored, says Von Ivan. And yeah, I'm assuming I'm assuming he's referring, you know, to the fact that the T-34 was just bouncing the shots from the armor in front. G43 is going off on those Grens in the south, managing to inflict quite a bit of casualties on that conscript squad as it approached. And G42, however, opens up on the Grens, forcing the retreat, and there they go. Up in the north, the half-track manages to decap that point. However, it only draws the attention of the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV is moving straight in that direction, and we'll see if he actually catches anything. Run, half-track, says Bryan. And the half-track is going straight for the fuel point. My baby, says... well, he's actually going to run straight into the snipers, though. Come to me, says Von Ivan. And the Grenadiers, not currently reinforced, get caught by the half-track. The half-track goes straight at the snipers. The snipers now retreating. The half-track is gonna... Oh shit, he says. No! This is not good for Von Ivan. So the snipers are currently getting Annihilated. Down goes one sniper. The G43s are flying. The overdrive goes off on the half track. Down goes the second sniper. The Faust go off on the half track. The Pioneers are getting burned alive. God damn it, too much, says mTw.VonIvan. And down goes a Pio squad. The G43s are the only thing left with those Grens. Grens might be able to finish off the half track with its with the Faust. The half track decides to just get abandoned and say, "Run, lads!" And the combat engineers are trying to make it out of there alive. They are 3 and 2 men each, down to 1 man on one squad. G43s continue to fly. The Panzer IV annihilates the half track, and there is a Panzer IV in the way of those combat engineers. However, it doesn't have a main weapon, just a top gunner. Can they make it out alive? They're going to have to run through some S-mines. Oh, that's a nasty shot. Ooh, almost lands on the retreating point. I mean, the retreating squads. And the T-34, and now the Soviet army is in the way of those combat engineers, and they barely make it out of there. It was quite a risky move there by Bryan, but he managed to pick up 2 sniper kills and even a Pio there just for kicks. And wow, that was painful for mTw.VonIvan. It was fun at first, and then it got very unpleasant for mTw.VonIvan. So the conscripts being used to repair tanks. That's one of the nice little things about. Oh, nasty shot there on the church. Takes out the entire roof. It's a nice thing about the Doctrine. It gives you the conscript repair package, so you're able to utilize them quite effectively. So it promotes using a lot of them. Rifle nade going off on the conscripts as they were repairing. They did break off the repair and managed to move out of the way. However, they still take a nasty rifle nade to the face. Down to 2 men on that one squad. Conscripts trying to engage against the Grens. AT gun up at the top, getting assaulted by a Panzer IV. The Panzer IV manages to get the flank. However, the T-34 moves into position and is going to start shooting at the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV turns its gun to engage the T-34. The AT gun continues to move around, and the conscripts are engaging against the Grens. The Grens, one of them goes down. Second squad retreating at 1 man, and the conscripts manage to make it out of there with 1 man left alive. Can he actually make it out alive? The T-34 goes in for the ram. Gets the ram. Damaged engine, but the AT gun goes down. And this game, says mTw.VonIvan. Pretty good game, actually. MG42 moves into the field. Gonna probably go into the center. We still have that mortar. That mortar is now veteran C2 with 13 kills to its name. Has actually killed 2 friendlies. And we saw that when it happened, but yeah. Panzer IV slowly crawling out of the way. The T-34 is still alive, very healthy in fact. So the combat engineers could come back onto the field and get it back into full working order. The combat engineers now have yet another half-track for him, so yeah, it looks like that half-track is something that is going to be prevalent in the meta right now, right? So we'll see. Anyways, MG42 captures the point. Victory point-wise, Bryan now down to 117, has managed to bleed a little bit for mTw.VonIvan, down to 423, but he essentially has a 300-point lead. So mTw.VonIvan is, well, quite an okay spot. AT gun for Bryan pushing all the way up north, trying to see if it could actually spot the Panzer IV. Fortunately for mTw.VonIvan, he sent it all the way up to the far north. So even though his pilots are trying to repair that, Panzer IV is still not done moving. And we now see a Tiger coming out on the field for mTw.VonIvan. We also have a second Panzer IV over on the right-hand side. This was the one that got disabled. Currently now fully repaired, so it's able to move into the center. Nothing really in the center right now for Bryan, so mTw.VonIvan will be able to just move around. Half-track running straight into the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV says hi, takes a shot. Half-track now down to about half health. Going to try to retreat. The T-34 is not fully repaired. Taking some shots now. The half-track only manages to draw the attention of the Panzer IV and get more damage on the T-34. The T-34 getting repaired as fast as it can by the conscripts. The half-track gets the half-track drops its cargo. The combat engineers are still there. And the T-34 is also going to be going down. The AT gun, however, puts itself in a nice position, managing to take out that Panzer IV. The T-34 is there, but we see a... No? Curses, says mTw.VonIvan. And... not exactly sure what it was called there. I guess he was trying to finish it off. Calls in the IL-2 Sturmovik, but it doesn't actually hit anything because it was called around here. Molotov landing on the Grenadiers and Pios in the center. Conscripts force them off. And the AT gun is now duking it out with the Tiger. The T-34 is desperately trying to get repaired. AT gun getting cleared out by the Tiger, not managing to hold out for very much longer. Down goes the last man on that squad. The remaining men remaining man, retreats out of the field, and the AT gun goes down. VonIvan now targeting the AT guns themselves, trying to take him out. Will be able to take him out very quickly. And the T-34 is about, no, it's still at about 90%. Needs a little bit more time to get fully repaired, but the Tiger is now on the move, and the T-34 is still damaged on the engine. The Tiger does not notice the T-34 there, or forgot that it was there, I suppose, for VonIvan. Goes straight for the conscripts in the center, forces the retreat. T-34 about to get fully repaired. Can the conscripts pull it off? The Tiger is in hot pursuit. Decides to turn its gun. Now it actually notices the T-34, and the T-34 gets itself out of there. Lands a nice shot on the side armor of the Tiger. Goes for the ram, but only manages to get a cruise shock on the Tiger, so that is one dead T-34. AT gun moves forward, takes some shots at the Panzer IV. However, the Panzer IV will go down. A T-34 gets abandoned on the field, and then gets another shot, and the engine gets destroyed. And VonIvan decides to just leave it there with the destroyed engine, and VonIvan says, I give it back to you, to be fair. RNG abandons me, says Bryan. Combat engineers with their flamethrowers pushing forward. Grants throw a rifle nade but miss it completely. And the G43s fly, doing a lot of damage to the combat engineers, but they pop into the house and the flamethrowers go off. Grenadier Squad forced off at one man. Second Grenadier Squad moves in, getting some shots in if they can. Second Combat Engineer Squad is still there and flames into the house. However, the shots are too close and they decide to retreat. Panzer IV and T-34, Panzer IV and Tiger up in the north. And the T-34 is still on the field. Nobody's going to be picking it up right now. Bryan is not in a position to be able to get it back in working order very quickly. It's a little bit to the center of the map, so he would only be sacrificing some manpower and repair time. Not exactly sure there what the Sturmelbeck was doing, or was that a strafing run from Stuka close air support? That might be a Stuka close air support. So that MG42 didn't really take any damage, so I'm not exactly sure what that was. I mean, there was an IL-2 called in there, so it might have been the IL-2 just shooting randomly. Tiger and Panzer IV moving straight into the center. The conscripts getting engaged, and they are probably going to be forced off. 18-8 flies, gets a crit on the engine of that Panzer IV. T-34 moves forward and manages to get some damage on that Panzer IV. AT gun is also in position and will take some shots at the Tiger. Tiger taking shots at the frontal armor. A very nice penetration there by the AT gun. Manages to do quite a bit of damage. The T-34 was getting repaired and gets abandoned once again, and then Bryan says RNG Jeebus. Goes for the ram on the T-34, manages to get a nice crit on the Tiger, destroying its gun and damaging its engine, forcing it to back off. The Tiger is currently turning around, going to be exposing its rear armor to the enemy. And going up to the north, the AT gun is in a bad position, although it pushes forward, going to try to clear out the Panzer IV. Panzer IV taking some nasty shots there. It's currently cornered into the water. The AT gun flies and gets the abandon on the Panzer IV. That Panzer IV might be able to get picked up by Bryan. He could turn this around. He is building another AT gun just to be able to keep up the damage. The Tiger up in the north is still there. Rifle nade flying on the MG42 in that house. And wait what? How did VonIvan get all stupid? Can't. Okay, I'm a little bit confused here. Relief infantry. Oh, there you go. Okay, that's why. Oh, wow. I was a little confused here. I mean, not that I'm going to accuse anybody of anything, but I just was confused. Didn't know what the hell was going on. Okay. So yeah, relief infantry. VonIvan used relief infantry. You can see it right there. It says forces will be replaced with Ostrupen infantry. So that's why he has these guys on the field. that was weird. That's actually I think the first time I've seen relief infantry being used. Anyways, Ostrupen push forward, throw some Faust off on that T-34. Going to try to finish it off. There they go, nice finish. And they actually managed to pick up the Panzer IV, and the Pios are going to try to get some repairs going. The Tiger up in the north getting harassed by the AT gun. The AT gun now veteran C3. However, a Flag Panzer on the field for Von Ivan is going to clear out that AT gun, removing that veterancy and probably destroying the weapon. Conscripts engaging against the Grenadiers. Veteran C3 versus veteran C3. However, with the Flag Panzer, the conscripts have a tough fight. However, there's now a T-34 on the field for Bryan, harassing the Flag Panzer, and the Grenadier squad is down to one man. The T-34 might be able to finish off that one man. He's actually going for that and also going for the Tiger. The Tiger is currently heavily damaged. Goes for the ram, gets the crit, out of control goes the Tiger. Bryan says, die. Von Ivan says, no. And the Tiger spins out of control, will eventually die. This T-34 is also done for. It's too close to the enemy base. Defender's advantage will just get killed. But the conscripts up in the northern fuel get annihilated by the Flag Panther. The conscripts are left to their own devices there. And the AT gun over here gets a nasty shot there on the Flag Panther. However, the Flag Panther now has the upper hand of it. And the T-34 has just come into the field, but is not going to be able to get there in time. This AT gun will get cleared out as well. Holstrupen pushing forward with Grenadiers. And the pilots are currently repairing the Panzer IV, trying to get it back in working order. AT gun down to 3 men. Down, there it goes. The last man retreats, runs off of the field. And the AT gun is currently getting targeted by Von Ivan. He's trying to kill the weapon itself. Will be able to do so, but T-34 moves in. The Flag Panther getting shot on the side armor. Will be able to inflict some heavy damage on the weapon. But now it gets abandoned once again. Bryan has another opportunity to get another German tank. Decides to shoot it. Main gun gets destroyed, and he decides to just leave it there. What is up with all these abandons and crits? Combat engineers pop into the house. The Panzer IV moves forward. We see a Sturmovik run coming down for Bryan. Goes straight for the Panzer IV. Ram goes down on the Panzer IV, destroys the main gun, forces it to back off. No AT guns left for Bryan, so he needs to move some on the field. He is down to one conscript squad. And we see an MG42 getting called in for Von Ivan as well. He's trying to secure the map in some way or another. Pios up to the north. The Panzer IV is damaged, but it's at about 70% health, so could be coming back onto the field very quickly. AT gun gets recruited by the conscripts. Conscripts might be able to finish it off. Conscripts move into position to see the Panzer IV. The AT gun is now going to move into position to be able to take some shots at the Panzer IV. Can he get it there in time? MG42 opening up on the Pios. The Molotov lands. Pios getting incinerated and also getting pinned. The Panzer IV now getting shot on the side armor. Going to try to move it out of the way. Pios now get one squad down. Second squad down to one man. Panzer IV crawls very slowly out of the way. Combat engineers moving in at veteran C3. They are able to repair very quickly and not take any additional damage while repairing. Nade flies at the Panzer IV, but it looks like it only got a surface damage. Rifle nade landing on the combat engineers, getting 2 of them killed, but because they didn't take additional damage, it wasn't a full squad wipe. Another Panzer IV getting called in for Von Ivan. Now moving onto the field. AT gun continues to shoot at the Panzer IV. The Grents are trying as much as they can to clear out the AT gun. The AT gun is down to 2 men. Combat engineers pop out of the house. The MG42 is still on the field, opening up on the Soviet infantry. The AT gun is now playing ring around the house here, trying to get that Panzer IV. However, they don't manage to do that. Combat engineers continue to move in, trying to get the repairs on that T-34. However, with the MG42 there for support, they will not be able to do much about it. And the T-34 up in the north gets annihilated by the Panzer IV as it drives by, and is now going for the second T-34 down there, while the other Panzer IV crawls very slowly out of the fight and stays alive. Bryan now down to less than 100 points, 94 points left for him, 340 points still left for Von Ivan, so he is in a very comfortable position and also dominating as far as forces goes. T-34 going to be going down to the Panzer IV. The Flag Panzer is still there. Might get killed off by something. Conscripts push forward. They're going to go... They're not going to go for the steel. Doesn't actually make sense to do that. They try to get in range to an 18-8 to the Panzer IV. Another T-34 coming onto the field for Bryan. Is he actually going to go for the kill? The conscripts decide to, in fact, go for the Flag Panzer. Nice immobilization there on that Panzer IV. That Panzer IV is not going anywhere. It also has a destroyed weapon. And the Flag Panzer gets itself out of there. So Bryan getting a nice pickup there. Might be able to put that to use. Ostrupen squads for Von Ivan are now down to only 1 man left. Only 1 squad, so he has lost quite a bit there. Ah, nuts, says Bryan. Not sure what he lost. Oh, the AT gun is shooting up north to his T-34, so the T-34 will be going down. Might still be able to get the kill on that Panzer IV since it is immobilized, but he lost his tank. Combat engineers retreating. The MG42 is set up to defend the entire approach, so very nice. A little bit of a flank possibility through here, but yeah, I mean, just running out of the base puts you right into the arc of fire. Back at base, Flak Panzer still left for Bryan. He has 2 conscript squads and an MG42 that got stolen. How many tanks you got left? He says to VonIvan. And he says 2, which is actually correct. He has this disabled one, and the other one up here in the north that's currently getting repaired. Hold on, I'm going for this. Hold the show. KK, says VonIvan. Alright, let me fall back, he says. Are they actually going to do that, or...? Well, back at base, the conscripts, combat engineers, and everything else is currently repairing the Flak Panzer. So evidently, Bryan has not gone anywhere. VonIvan just holding his territory and getting the repairs going off on the Panzer IVs. Panzer IV now back to full strength. Second Pio squads, or double Pio squads, moving over to the disabled Panzer IV. He repositions the stolen AT gun to cover it. And down south, Grenadiers are just moving around, decapping points, while we have Ostrupens and a Grenadier squad just moving around, capping. These squads aren't really going to be doing much here. They could actually go for the center point, but looks like VonIvan is just trying to secure some positions. Flak Panzer now back to full strength and being sent out to the right-hand side. It is going to run into some Grenadiers and will be able to do quite a bit of damage to them. In fact, might actually be able to kill the entire squad if not properly retreated by VonIvan. Flak Panzer flies. Grenadier squad down to 3 men. Hits retreat. We'll make it out of there, but... Son of a bitch, he says. So I guess he didn't actually notice. Was wondering where that went. So yeah, the Flak Panzer is now turning its guns against its former allies. And he's going to run straight into an S-mine that looks like it's already been detonated. Starts opening up on the Grens, and the Ostrupen gets itself in the way, meaning that the retreat path will be quite annoying. Faust goes off, however, gets a crit on the engine, and the Flak Panzer will not be going down, obviously, although Panzer IV could chase it down. But it will not actually get the kill on the on any of these guys. Ostrupen might lose a little bit more. No, shots are flying a little bit too wide, and that was actually some heavy engine damage. So this Flak Panzer is in a very difficult situation. We have the Panzer IVs over on the right-hand side. Are they actually going to go for the kill? It looks like Bryan has made a big push into the center with conscripts, so the Panzer IVs are being turned around to face this new threat rather than go for the Flak Panzer. The Flak Panzer, oh, nasty shot there on the conscripts, nails 3 of them. Forces a retreat. Ram goes off and whiffs it right at the edge of some debris. The Panzer IVs are now engaging the T-34. The T-34 takes some shots at one Panzer IV, and there goes the Ram. Nice crit on that tank. Only gets some engine damage, doesn't get the immobilization, so he will not, get an easy kill there. And on top of that, Bryan doesn't really have much. He has an AT gun coming down onto the field right now, so he's not doing that. He says he's ramming all day like a war. Flak Panzer moves all the way into the fuel point. Not exactly sure why. Could have been just backing off consistently right now and potentially getting some repairs. But it is essentially defending this area. It will require something like a Panzer IV to move in to kill it off. Up in the north, the Panzer IV getting repaired by the Pios. Relief infantry getting utilized by VonIvan. Didn't manage to get any kills on his infantry though, so it looks like no Ostrupen coming though here. For that, I am going into full base rape mode, he says. Bryan says, nah, you're not. AT gun sets up in the center of the map. The Panzer IV goes for a little bit of a crushing run on the MG42. He says meanie, and it gets away. Conscripts running into that maniac Panzer IV, trying to run them over. 18-8 flies from the conscripts, gets a crit on the engine, so that Panzer IV is not going anywhere fast. AT gun is on the field, will be turned around to engage the Panzer IV as it is right at the edge of its arc of fire. Nice shots flying. That Panzer IV is not going anywhere. I think it's actually going to die. I don't think it's going to be able to make it out of there with its damaged engine. The AT gun has a very nice angle on it, and the Panzer IV, with no support nearby, is just going to go down. Shots continue to fly. It's about to make it to the edge of the arc of fire. Manages to do so. AT gun going to turn around, continue to shoot at the Panzer IV. Gets another nice arc of fire there. And Bryan says, "You got balls, kid." He goes for a Panzer IV, try and get behind that. A Tiger is now on the field for VonIvan. The Panzer IV does go down. VonIvan puts a little frowny face there, or sad face, I suppose. And the Panzer IV is trying to take out the AT gun. Might be able to do so. Second AT gun now on the field for Bryan. Pushes it out into the map, but will not be able to get in time to support. And the Flak Panzer is slowly crawling into the center of the map. Not wanting to bother repairing it, I suppose. And the Panzer IV in the center has managed veterancy too, so the armored skirts are now activated. Pios forced off the center point. Bryan now down to 51 points. VonIvan sitting at 283, so he's got over 200 points lead there, so in a very comfortable spot. Tiger moves in for VonIvan. Bryan trying as much as he can to stop him. MG42 unable to do anything to the armor of a Tiger, and the Panzer as well. And the Tiger now moves in to help out in the fight, getting kill after kill on that. The Flak Panzer currently getting repaired by combat engineers. Might be able to get its engine in full order. However, the Tiger now notices its existence, and the Flak Panzer will be going down. Can it manage to get? Nope. Combat engineer says, "You know what? You're on your own." Hits retreat, runs into some S-mines, but will make it out of there at 2 men, and the Flak Panzer will be destroyed. T-34 now on the field for Bryan. He might... Well, actually, he did get the kill on that Panzer IV. Looks like he got it with the AT gun, though. No, it's not the AT gun. Not exactly sure what that got that kill. T-34 gets fausted by everything, runs straight into the arc of fire of the stolen AT gun. Molotovs fly all over, getting right on top of those AT guns. The conscripts right in front of everything, getting pretty harassed, pretty annihilated. Flak Panzer did go down to the Tiger down south, and the T-34 is doing what it can, but that is a lot of punishment that Bryan is taking. Points, however, are currently triple capped in the favor of Bryan, so he is bleeding VonIvan rather quickly. I think we're done here, says Bryan, and he might be right, but we'll see. Tiger now decides to move into the base, or is he just going to sit around there? Bryan says, "Good game, well played." VonIvan says, "Good way, well played." And he says, "Now base break me." He doesn't have anything left, so it looks like that's going to be it. Excellent. Prepare the defenses. Not like I got demo charges on that bridge. Oh, he's bluffing it. Can he actually trick it? Oh, really? Says VonIvan. Well, thanks for telling me, Kappa. Well, we don't see any demo charges, not that I can see, so I think he's bluffing. Build those minesweepers. 30 munitions. VonIvan says, "Nah, I got kamikazes." Oh, okay. Much cheaper. Conscripts for Bryan go behind the lines and try to get a decap. Victory points have actually been bled for VonIvan down to 200. You're not playing the game. Screw the system, says VonIvan. So it looks like this is probably it. He's just sitting there with his forces, so I have suicide units under my command. Good luck, have fun in the rest of games tonight. I'll probably watch stream again. They serve the fatherland proudly. Well, like I said, it's nice that we get to see the chat for the games now. You can see the nice banter that players have with each other sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's not that pleasant, but otherwise it's other times it's funny like this. So yeah, there's just screwing around a little bit. We see Bryan rushing out with all the forces that he has. He does a IL-2 thermobic attack right on top of the AT gun. Manages to decrew the AT gun. The Ostrupen get a little bit annihilated. However, the Tiger is still there. Gets a massive shot there on those conscripts, force them away. combat engineer also retreating, and the MG42 is forced to retreat. The lobbing like a Hans, says Bryan. Ah, come on. And well, I only needed to reinforce, but now I go freestyle. So VonIvan gets himself a half track, just putting it all in between those squads, getting them reinforced, and moves up into the front of the base. And I don't think there's much left to this game. Just cross that bridge, he says. Come on, cross it. T-34 goes all the way across the map. AT guns are not even able to shoot it. Gets behind the lines. AT gun does get turned around, however, and T-34 takes some engine damage. One more shot goes off, and down it goes. I was gonna rush your base with that, he says. These conscripts have actually continued to be harassive. Panzer Grenadiers now in the field for VonIvan. They're just going capping, and I think this is gonna be it. And yeah, there it goes. So, a nice little game there, a little bit extended there at the end, but they were just having some fun. And a very nice game, however. It was very back and forth. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.